So I recently got a message from a person in my comment section who was commenting on one of my videos. He claims to be a 60-year-old man from Midwest whose wife left him, who's seeking for answers as to what changed. And so I got inspired to create a video around it because I think I have a pretty good idea. First of all, I want to mention that I'm not making this video to shame, blame, or any of those cortisol spiking hormonal things, okay? I'm making this video simply because I want to live in a better world, and I think what we need is to come together in peace and harmony and connection. And so I have the intention of creating this video with that intent. Okay, so what do women actually really want from men nowadays, and probably in the past as well, is emotional literacy and emotional safety. You know how men were basically taught not to feel or to talk about their feelings or any of that? Yeah, we need that to change. It sucks that society has basically bred men into being like seeming emotionless beings, but it's not like that, okay? Just because you suppress an emotion doesn't mean that the emotion is not there. So what we as women need men to learn is emotional literacy. And what that means is that men need to build the skills to learn about their emotional world. They need to learn how to name their emotions, what they're feeling, how to communicate their emotions, and how to regulate their emotions themselves. Because for the longest time, so if men were basically taught by society that vulnerability was weakness and emotions were maybe feminine or whatever, then women were basically doing what we now call emotional labor. Okay, and we don't want to do that anymore. We're sick and tired, and just no. Emotional labor means that, you know, if you're in a relationship and the man's like shut down or angry, and the woman comes over and she's like, honey, tell me what is going on? And then the man is just like clumsily kind of like trying to understand it and like name it for himself. That's way too much fucking work for us. No, thank you. Okay, and I mean this with love, but what is needed is for men to do this inner work on their own and then meet the women there. And you know what? If you do that, if you answer the call of this evolutionary progress, whatever is happening right now, which is men being asked to basically befriend their feminine side, the emotional side, then something beautiful can happen. Because if you are in touch with your emotionality and you know how to handle it and you know how to communicate it, you will then become a safe person, emotionally safe person for your partner. And that is exactly what women need from men. We need men to be emotionally available and emotionally safe. And that means you learn how to take care of your own emotions. You learn how to communicate them, how to share them in healthy ways. You don't let them spill out, or you don't let anyone in, because it's a problem. If you don't know how to open up and be vulnerable, what kind of a relationship do you think you are gonna get? Not a very good one. So then I think that's where a lot of this like manosphere rhetoric comes in, where men are like, well, what else does she want? I bring home the bacon. So does that mean that all you are good for is financial stability? I think you're much more capable than that. And if you believe that about yourself, imagine what kind of partners you're attracting. Yeah, if you believe that the only value that you have is financial, then that is who you're going to attract. Whereas if you are emotionally mature, you will naturally attract a emotionally mature partner, and there will be connection, there will be love, there will be depth. Unless that's what you don't want. In which case, like, just stop watching this video, because that's basically what I'm going to be talking about for the rest of the time. I believe that men need to take responsibility for their growth and stop relying on women to do the majority of the emotional labor. It's exhausting and we don't want to do it. It costs us way too much and we don't get much in return. It is not fun for us to be with a person who lacks emotional intelligence. Sorry, not sorry. I want to have a partner that I can be intimate with. And I'm not only talking about that kind of intimacy. Intimacy starts with emotional intimacy. That's what we need. So if you want the other kind of intimacy, this is the prerequisite. And I know that men were not asked to do this for thousands of years. So it's natural that you're probably overwhelmed and pissed off. I would be too, okay? If I wasn't doing the emotional labor and now someone's asking me to like do it, I'd be like, no, the men before me didn't have to do it. Why the hell would I? So I get it, but I'm sorry to tell you, this is my belief. I think a lot of people share it. We're just not going back. We're never going back to the way it was. It's just not going to happen. So here's the good news though. Emotional literacy is a skill that you can learn. And once you do learn that, it puts you ahead of most of the men. And women find emotional safety and emotional intelligence extremely attractive. So if you have been lost and you're like, damn, I just don't know what women want, this is it, okay? I am giving you this information on a platter. This is what we want. This is what we need. This is what needs to happen. So here's homework for you. If you're serious about learning these skills, find someone to practice with. Maybe you have some men in your life that you can like create a group with. Please practice on your own. It's just too much to ask of the women in your life, and we've been doing it for thousands of years. We're fucking tired. But there is help out there. Like there's peer groups, there's therapists. Freaking call your buddy up and talk about something else than soccer. It is something that you need to practice. You can also practice it on your own if you want. Like let's say in the morning, you sit with yourself and you're like, how do I feel? And do this 3 times a day. If you need, just Google emotional wheel. There's a list of emotions that you can choose and pick from. So that's naming your emotions. And once you get good at naming your emotions and communicating them with someone else, then another step towards being an emotionally safe person is to be able to regulate your emotions, okay? So let's say you're upset. Don't expect your partner to soothe you or to regulate you. You can learn this. So bravely step into it. I know you can do it. So if you like this video and you have someone you think would benefit from it, you feel free to share it. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Comment, but from a regulated state. And if you feel called to, subscribe to my channel for more striking conversations.